Hey guys, John from John's DIY Playground. We are deep in the recesses storage rooms, one of the storage rooms of the playground, and I needed some more custom shelving so that I could hold and store more stuff for the playground. So I'm making a 3-tier custom size shelf unit, and I will show you how to do it step by step. It's pretty easy. Let's get started. I'm going to get a measurement of our width here, and we're in a pretty tight space in this closet. We're looking at about 33 1/8 inches of width, so I can cut my shelves just under 33 inches to give a little bit of play left to right with them. And I think we will cut probably 1, 2, 3 shelves to start with, and we'll see how that looks. The plywood we're using today is a 4x8 sheet of 1/2 inch plywood, and we had the hardware store actually rip it lengthwise for us. So our shelves are actually going to be 2 feet deep. And so I have to work around a pole in my basement as well. So one side is going to be supported with 2 feet wide 2x2s on the wall. So I'm going to cut those to 2 feet right now and get those put up. I got these clear stack storage bins from Costco, and I'd like to make my shelves work with these. So it's important that I set the spacing up. These are about 10.5 inches tall so that I can get them in between the shelves. So I have other storage bins that are even taller. So what I found is 16 inches is about the right amount between my shelf heights. So I'm going to pick my first height based on my ceiling, make sure I have at least 16 inches, and then work down. So actually the space from my lowest shelf down to the floor might be about 2 feet, which is great for some taller items. I've got this vent, flexible vent that's up near the ceiling of this room, so I'm actually going to work 16 inches from there down, and then I'm just going to make a mark on my 2x4 here, so that I'm just going to make one mark, and then I'm going to use a level to set where it looks front to back so that I'm level, and just use the 16 inch as a starting reference point. There we go. Screws I'm going with are these Prime Guard 2.5 inch long screws, and you can see with the 2x2 I'm going to get that much bite into the wall. These are exterior grade screws. You don't need to use those, but it's what I had laying around, so I'm going to use them. The other thing is I want to drill a pilot hole, and I'm going to use a 3/16 inch diameter drill bit to drill pilot holes here, and I'm marking the X on the spot based on where it needs to be on the wall, so let me do that. And now we're ready to put our first screw in, and there's our reference mark. Like I said, I'm not going to pay too much attention here because we're going to use a level to put in the second screw. Okay. Take our level here. Make sure we get our bubble just right. So that's good. Right there. Solid. Could do chin-ups on this thing. This next piece on the back is going to be a little bit tricky because of this black pole that's in the way, and I need to try and toe in because I'm not going to be able to get my screw gun in at a good angle. So I need to mark where I would like to ideally have my gun, but then I'm trying to cut or put my pilot hole at an angle. Now there's a disadvantage of doing that, right? And that is that your screw is not going to have as much depth. You know, I'm not going to get as much depth and as much strength. But right here in the middle, I'm going this one, I'm going to be going straight in. So I'm going to have most of my secure, holding done at this stud here. So I'm not too worried about it. I also have to toe in on this side as well, just a little bit, because this stud unfortunately doesn't come out as far, so I can't go straight in. I have to toe in at an angle again on this one. Sorry about banging that pole. Alright, I got my pilot holes drilled, and now what we're going to do to set this one up is I'm going to put the screw here and get me started, but I'm going to take the level and span this thing here, and I'm going to line it up so that I'm flush here where these two pieces will meet each other and stay flush, and then I want to make sure my bubble is good for this middle piece so I can set level here. Alright, that looks good. Forgive me, I'm right-handed, not left-handed. Alright, so we're level. I'll just put in the other two now. Worked. We're good. Solid. This is where the seasoned professionals that are real builders, unlike myself, are going to have a fit with what I'm going to propose doing for this last one. Now, this part of the wall is a stagger stud construction, so I don't have studs close enough for me to hit 2 points. So what I'm going to have to do is I really want to get into a stud 100%, which is located right here. That means that my I guess retainer here that the shelf sits on is going to stick out a little bit on this side, and I'm okay with that because I want the strength and rigidity of going into the stud. On this side, however, I've got nothing but drywall, so what I'm going to do is put in a drywall anchor, but I'm still going to use the same screws to drive through so that they're long enough and they fit and they're going to work. So I'm going to put in this first one on the end based on using the level. Get our level here. And come out a little bit so I'm on that stud centered. Level there. We don't really have to be level here, but I want to be close. Just double check now. See, need a little bit longer level really, but need to tweak it just a bit. That looks good. That's going to be good. Okay. That looks real good. Well, let's drive the screw home. Alright, so now I want to be level at that point. I'm going to switch over, make sure that's just right. Put a hole just into the drywall. And then take one of these anchors, looks like this, and put it in here like that. And then you can use a drill driver or you can use a screwdriver by hand. Let's see if I can do this with the drill driver. You can see that goes like that. And then we're just going to follow it up with a regular one of these other screws I have been using. Just got to get her lined up. There we go. So that's going to hold a lot of weight too, even though we're only going into drywall right there. So I made myself a little sketch of what I need the shape to look like. So I'm just going to lay this out on the board now and use my pen to make the markings, then we'll do the cutting. All right, let's get cutting. This plywood's got a little bit of a warp to it, but that'll come out over time as it settles. Kind of had it standing up funny for a little while before I actually did this, but that's really how I want the shelf to be. You can see it's really strong. I could put some screws into here to make it even more secure, but I want to be able to take these out if I wanted to and get back there and clean and do things like that. So I'm just going to repeat this 2 more times. Alright guys, you can see I've got the last 2 shelves built and in place. All set, looks good, holds weight real good. Got a couple bins side by side, real happy with it. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And also click that subscribe button down below so you'll be notified when I make new videos. This is John from John's DIY Playground. Have a great day.